There's a special body of law that applies to workers or folks that are injured on the water called the Jones Act, and this applies to certain crew members of vessels. You have to be what's called a Jones Act seaman, but if we've represented a lot of people that have been hurt off of deep sea rigs, jack-up rigs, drill ships, things like that, and you actually have a completely different body of law out there, and people that are getting onto boats or hurt on boats, and it's called the Jones Act. For a lot of workers' compensation, you cannot get pain and suffering, but with the Jones Act, you can, and so there are actually higher damages and larger financial recoveries for people that have been injured on the water working than on land typically. So one of the things we have to work up early in one of these cases is whether the Longshore Harbor Workers' Compensation Act applies or whether the Jones Act applies, and that's all legalese and kind of confusing. But if you're on a fixed platform, which is often a rig, then the Longshore Act or a state workers' comp act is probably going to apply. But if you're on a vessel, a movable vessel, then the Jones Act is probably going to apply. And some of these rigs out in the Gulf of Mexico, there's actually ships, but they're rigs. And so if the vessel can float off, it's very likely that you're going to be within the Jones Act. And so we're down here on the Gulf of Mexico, we're down here on the coast, and so if you've been injured on the water in a boat offshore, then we can help you with that and make sure that you get the financial compensation that you're entitled to by law.